Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Jay Longo here, back with a new video, and today we're going to be going over NFL Week 6 of the 2024 NFL picks. This week we're starting off with another Thursday night Amazon Prime banger. We got a divisional matchup in the 49ers traveling not too far into Seattle, Washington, the state of, to battle on the Seahawks. I like the 49ers coming in here after a tough loss at home against the Cardinals, another divisional matchup. Both these teams have seen several divisional matchups in this season. But I like the 49ers coming in here and playing a little tough football, a little ground and pound, a little run the rock, a little read the option, maybe hit the check down. I like Brandon Ayuk coming out last week, getting a lot more reps in. Jauan Jennings should step up this week. The corners on the Seattle Seahawks defense are a little banged up, as well as rest of the team. Their offensive line is going through third stringers, and I expect the 49ers defense to get home this week. Yes, the 49ers might be missing one of their best pass rushers on the defensive side, but this shouldn't slow them down at all. I like the 49ers to travel back home here with an easy 4-point victory. Give me the 49ers minus 3.5 on Thursday Night Football. Moving on. Jaguars and the Bears travel across seas to face each other in London. I like the Jaguars here, as they usually have more fans over there in London. Jaguars owner Shahid Khan has more ties in London than the Kansas City Chiefs do with the NFL refs. I like the Jaguars coming over here as underdogs. The underdogs didn't perform well in the first week at London, but I like the Jaguars here coming in and beating the Bears at a minus 1.5. I think that the Bears performed well last week with Caleb Williams having a great breakout game for his rookie season. Yeah, he might have got the best of them, but man, I think this Jaguars team is just now turning around at the right time, and that's because nobody else in the division seems to be holding it down. I think the Jaguars can pull out early here and keep a strong lead throughout the whole game. I like the Jaguars to not only upset here, but cover with a 1.5-point spread. I know the Bears are favored by minus 2.5, but we're going to switch it around and give it to the Jaguars. Make a little bit of money early on in the week here. Moving on. Bucks at Saints, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Derek Scaredy Cat Carr is a no-call, no-show this week as the Buccaneers travel in here to New Orleans as a pretty big favorite. I like them at minus 6.5. Move it up, slam it down. I like Baker Mayfield after a comeback week, especially after a tough loss there in Atlanta. The Buccaneers should have easily won that game. There's no way Atlanta should have covered, but they did. And we might have got that right, but we definitely were lucky there in overtime. I like the Buccaneers here coming off of a tough loss, especially against the Saints with a backup quarterback. I don't think this defense has much left in them, and I see Baker Mayfield and these big receivers taking advantage of them, especially in the run game. I like the Saints' offensive line to come back here a little bit more healthy, maybe get a little bit extra rest after that miniature bye week since the last time they played was Thursday. Saints coming in here after a tough loss on Monday night against the Chiefs. I had my money on them, and Derek Carr got scared like he always does against Daddy Mahomes. I know the refs were really on the Chiefs' side. You folks better get used to it. This Chiefs team ain't going down without a fight or a call. I like the Bucks here at minus 6.5 at New Orleans. Give them to me all day. Moving on. Commanders at Ravens. Battle of the backyard QBs. Rookie QB Jaden Daniels and veteran offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury are like two peas in a pod, and I like Lamar smoking it. Ravens just now getting comfortable. Look out, Kamalas. I like John and Jim Harbaugh against rookie QBs, and I could see why this line is at minus 6.5. I like the Ravens here to cover, and I think the Commanders will finally have a week where they struggle. Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury's pretty solid in that run game, but man, I like John Harbaugh's defense, and it's going to be hard to move that ball against them. I like Derrick Henry doing his thing. It seems like Cincinnati wasn't able to slow him down. Yeah, he might not have had as many yards in the run game, but he did find his way into that end zone. I like the Ravens here at minus 6.5. No sweat bet. Cardinals at Packers. I'm starving like Marvin. Hard to beat the Packers at home, but I like little Kyler Murray. I'm afraid Green Bay is struggling on wide receiver position, and I think this Cardinals offense is coming in and coming hot. I like little Kyler Murray running around and finding a first down when there ain't one. Jordan Love is proved to be a thug, and I think he can keep points on the board. I really like the over in this game. I know a lot of money is on the over in this one, but man, how could you not like it? Cardinals wide receivers are always open. You got to love Marvin Harrison, man. That 4th and 1 that Kyler just kind of stepped back, didn't even look, and threw it to him, and he made the play. Whoo! Exposing those 49ers lackluster defenders. I like the Cardinals here to cover a plus 3.5 point spread. Got them at 5.5 as dogs. We're going to bump it down to 3.5. I think they got the spread a little jacked on this one. Cardinals might even be able to win this one in Green Bay. I like the Cardinals here to put on a show. Let's see what you got, Packers. Colts at Titans. Battle of the backups. If you asked me before the season started who was going to play QB in Week 6 in this matchup, I wouldn't have hesitated to tell you. Joe Wacko and Mason Racist Rudolph. We're going to go head-to-head here in a division rivalry where I like the Colts here to come out on top. Joe Flacco played phenomenal last week. His defense just wasn't there. And I like the Jaguars there, especially since a lot of the money were on the Colts. That was a perfect opportunity for the Jaguars to get the first win, especially after the first week that Joe Flacco was under helm with the Colts offense. I expect the Colts defense to play a lot better here. I like the Colts at a minus 2.5. Flip that spread and slam it down, folks. I got the Colts here winning by a field goal at the Titans. I think that this Tennessee offense will struggle. They're going to have a hard time running the ball. Yeah, this Colts defense might have one of the league's lowest averages in run yards allowed, but I like them to come out and prove the point that they are still a contender. Moving on, Texans at Patriots. C.J. Stroud's back in rhythm. Better watch out, Jared Mayo. I like the kid here, and this Texans offense is full of momentum. Don't forget about that defense shutting down Josh Allen last week in a should have been overtime matchup, but the Texans defense know how to seal the deal. Give it to DeMeco Ryans and that team for playing the hats off. I like the Texans coming in here at a minus 7 spread. Bump it up to minus 7.5. No reason they shouldn't win by 2 possessions here. I like the Texans completely dominating this game and keeping the Patriots' run game at a minimal. The Patriots' offensive line is still really banged up, and they really haven't showed any progress. Last week, they could have won that game with a bad call at the very end, but they didn't. I like the Texans to come in here and showcase a complete dominant platform on offense. I like C.J. Stroud throwing for multiple touchdowns here against this Patriots banged-up defense and showcasing himself on why he still should be the future MVP. Give me the Texans here at minus 7.5. Moving on, Browns at Eagles. Cleveland supports sexual harassment. As long as Deshaun Watson's at QB, I don't see this team moving the ball at all. I like the Eagles here to completely dominate the 9-point favorites here with the Browns coming into town, and I don't see why not. I don't want to block for this quarterback, and why should anybody else? This offensive line has been pitiful, allowing the most QB pressures throughout 5 weeks in the NFL. I like the Eagles here getting home and getting home heavy. I think this young Eagles, basically Alabama defensive line, will create a lot of pressure and cause Deshaun Watson to make a lot of bad decisions, as he has done. The Browns' run game will be minimal here, as the Eagles' defense has allowed very few yards rushing against opponents in this year's season. I like Nick Sirianni and this Eagles' offense to carry away, but something's just telling me that this Browns team can't allow 9-point spread. So I'm going to bump it up to 10.5 here and play it with a 2-team teaser with the very next matchup that we're going to go over. I like the Chargers at minus 2.5. Sportsbooks got them at 3, but moving straight on because we're carrying the Browns at -10.5 with the two-team teaser. Give me the Chargers at -2.5 at the Broncos. I like these Harbaugh brothers coaching against young rookie QBs. I know Jim Harbaugh's faced Bo Nix in the past, and he completely stomped him. I like Jim Harbaugh coming in here with an NFL-ready defense in the Los Angeles Chargers and putting a stop to Bo Nix's read option. This guy can't read every single defense, especially one coached by Jim Harbaugh. I like the Chargers to win this one with no problem by a field goal. I think that they'll be able to slow down this offense in the Mile High City, and they'll be able to run the ball against this Broncos defense. Broncos defense has been pretty shut down in the past game, but I don't think Justin Herbert will have to throw the ball much at all. I like J.K. Dobbins at an anytime touchdown score. Give me the Chargers at -2.5, plus the Browns +10.5 in a two-team teaser. Moving on. Steelers at Raiders. Is Russ back, or are we playing another week with an undecisive QB? I like the Steelers here coming into Las Vegas. A lot of money on the Steelers to cover at -3, and I think I'm riding this one with the public. But I'm going to shave a couple points off and just take the Steelers money line. Something's telling me this is a funny one, and they're keeping the spread at 3 for a reason. Kind of like the Browns-Jaguars matchup in Week 2 this year. No way the Jaguars line should have stayed at -3, and it's probably because the Browns ended up winning that game. A lot of money coming in here on the Steelers. Undecisive at QB and undecisive with the QB that they got. I don't think that Justin Fields has the quarterback tease to rule this team to a playoff victory. And I think Russell Wilson will be that guy. If he can step in here and make some good throws on third down, he'll have this Steelers team won over in week 1 of his return. I like the Steelers marching on in here into Las Vegas, full of the trap city where the refs are on nobody's side. Give me the Steelers, though, on the money line in a shady game. Falcons at Panthers. Old lucky Kirk Cousins meets pay dirt. Another divisional matchup for him. Falcons used up all the juice in the previous week. They might have got a little bit of an extra time off since they played last Thursday, but I like Carolina to run the ball here. Run, Carolina, run. The Red Rockets able to make some veteran decisions over there on offense and complete a couple checkdowns to keep this one rolling, I believe. I like the Panthers here coming in at +4.5. Books got them at 6, but we're going to slide this down to 4.5. I think the Panthers even got a good shot at winning this game if they can control it on defense. I think this Falcons team's got a little too much air in their head, especially with who's at helm. Kirk Cousins just got 500 yards passing over air and somehow barely managed to win the ball game. I like the Red Rocket here at home with the Falcons coming in and keeping this game close. Give me the Panthers at +4.5. Lions at Cowboys. More like cowpoke. Lions at Cowboys. Why isn't this a primetime game? I'll tell you why. Both teams are playing lackluster, failing to cover the spreads, failing to dominate the teams that they should smoke, barely squeezing by against the teams that they should never even be close to. I like the Lions coming into Dallas here as favorites to carry on with a great run game with David Montgomery and that two-headed goat offense and Jamar Gibbs. I like the run game out of Detroit, especially against the Salvation Army defense and the Dallas Cowgirls. I think Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb are going through some stuff. They might have pulled off a sweet victory against Pittsburgh on Sunday night in the previous week that I called just barely right with Aubrey's field goal late. But I like the Lions defense holding it down. The secondary has been improving in these past couple of weeks, and I think that their zones will be able to stop Dak's reads, and he won't be able to here we go on anybody. I like the Lions here to just walk away, run away, kneel away with a victory at Dallas. Give me the Lions money line. Sunday night, Bengals at Giants. Come on, pussycats. Should have had that last one by a breeze. With a 10-point lead with under 5 minutes left, Lamar Jackson did his thing and shammied on downfield and won the game by 3. Somehow the Ravens managed to cover, and when I had the Bengals on the money line, why I oughta. Bengals coming in here at the Giants as a pretty big favorite at -3.5 points. I like them winning this one by a touchdown. Go ahead and give me them at -4.5. Bump it up and make a little bit of extra money. I wouldn't be too funny if this line didn't move on itself. I like the Bengals coming in here against the struggling Giants offense, especially with the lackluster on receiver. Wan'Dale Robinson is going to get used up a little too much, and I see him getting shut down here. I don't know how the Giants will be able to move the ball against the Bengals. The Bengals have had plenty of weeks to find out their rhythm, and I see them playing it on display here. Give me the Bengals at -4.5 in New York on prime time Sunday night. I like them winning by a touchdown. I don't see any way that the Giants can keep this one close. Monday Night Football, Bills at Jets. No more coach to hold back Aaron Rodgers, and I like this team coming in hot and heavy, all fired up after finally getting rid of the guy who's been holding back Aaron Rodgers' prescriptions coming on through. I think that Robert Saleh really was a bump on the log for this Jets team, and they're just looking for any other excuse to hold back Rodgers. Until that guy can play sober and get over himself, I don't see how this Jets team can win a ball game, especially against the Bills coming off of a close loss. They're coming in here in New York where they're the actual New York team, the only New York team that plays in the state of. I like Josh Allen bouncing off of a close loss, one where he made a very bad decision at the end. I think he's going to live on that one and really learn from it. I like him coming in here and moving the ball against this Jets defense that was supposed to be so good against the pass, but didn't show it at all in Week 5. I believe James Cook will find his way into the end zone once again this week. Give me the Bills at -2.5. I don't care who's coaching this team. As long as Aaron Rodgers is quarterbacking, this team's going to be more reckless than a group of foster kids in an orphan home power outage. I like the Bills here at -2.5. Until the Jets players find a true home, I like the Buffalo Bills coming in here and declaring New York as their own. Well, folks, this has been Week 6 of the NFL 2024 picks. I'm Jay Longo, and I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Until next video, I hope all of you have a blessed time. Don't forget to check out my shorts if you guys are into golfing or want to see anything that I do in my day-to-day life. If you guys find any of this information valuable, share it along with your friends and help the channel grow. Remember, this is the league where they play for pay. We're in it to win it, folks. Don't sweat it, just bet it.